we got to hit the Fields thing now or later? We're gonna get into the nitty gritty of what they should do.
Sure.
Okay, they should keep him.
Yeah,
they should keep him. I mean, the decision has been made. I mean, to me, the decision has been made for weeks now. You know what I mean? And I guess this is
there would be a mutiny there.
Here, that's my thing, Kyle. Like he has decided. The team has decided.
That's our guy.
Eberflus. You talk about him. A lot of times you let the team decide at the end of the season. The team has decided by playing hard and beating teams that are in the thick of it. Like Atlanta had to win that game to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you fucking killed them, dude. And Justin Fields made some great plays. He missed a couple throws, but like so did every quarter. You know what Josh Allen did yesterday? He missed 15 throws. And so the point is, when it comes to Justin Fields, the decision has been made. The only decision you have to make is who's the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
And that's a huge decision.
And who you draft.
Huh?
Those are the decisions you have to make.
Because here's what you could be looking at next year, Kyle, if you stick with Justin Fields. Marvin Harrison, the top tackle, you re-sign Mooney.
Or Brock Bowers. I like their tackles. Braxton Jones, Darnell Wright. I don't think you change a thing.
Or you could move one of them inside.
Yeah.
You know, like the point is, look at that group outside and tell me, for a team that's just beaten a number of playoff teams or teams that are in contention for the playoffs, that beat the Lions, you know, a team that's damn good, that beat the Vikings a couple weeks ago when the Vikings were hotter, that beat the Falcons with their season on the line. If this is your floor, Kyle, why would you move on? 6 weeks ago, it was the safe decision. You could feel it to trade Justin Fields. It was the safe decision. Now tell me what decision feels more unsafe if you're Ryan Poles or Ian Cunningham.
I'm just writing down on a piece of paper right here. I have the initials MHJ, CK, Fields, BB, DJ Moore. Marvin Harrison Jr., Brock Bowers in this offense with Cole Kmet, the things he's able to do and has done for a long time. His availability in the offense is great. The leadership, Bowers would be a seamless transition. Fields, I mean, he's special. And I think this will be the year where we truly see a true bump in statistics.
So you're keeping him?
I'm keeping Fields.
Okay, because yesterday you were kind of like,
No, I wasn't.
You were like,
you want to read my tweet on the show?
You got to look at the trade package.
You want to read my tweet on the show?
You read it.
No, you just brought it up.
Well, don't get upset.
What I said was, here are the options that Ryan Poles and the Bears have to
consider. Okay, and if that's the case, I don't even think you need to consider it.
So you just did what Twitter did to me yesterday.
Well, no, what I heard yesterday was over and over again that they had to look at the options, which is not a hot take. It's not a hot take. I'm just trying to get the cards on the table here.
Okay.
Because if they look at the options.
If I'm the Bears brass, I have to at least see what the offer sheet looks like for some of these teams that are obviously going to be suited for Justin Fields. If the offer is good, in their opinion, send it. Now, what that threshold for good is, I don't know. And it could be great based on the way Fields has played. He'll thrive elsewhere. We do know that. And we'll have even more to show for
and the
it.
reason I bring it up is because I think it's a good point. A lot of people would say, look at the picks. You have to look at the picks. Nobody's going to make a decision right now. Like, even if the right decision is Fields, organizations don't just say.
There's somebody in that building
that's going to say, we need to look at the picks.
And Caleb Williams.
And I think
they say fuck picks. It's like Caleb Blinders.
Or Caleb Blinders.
Maggie had for Mahomes.
Here's what you have to be careful with, and I'm not saying you, Kyle, so don't read this wrong, but what I am saying is for anybody that's like, look at the picks, when you start looking at things that aren't real yet,
yes,
they can look like something that it's not going to. I mean, look at Carolina. Look at Carolina and all they gave up to get Bryce Young. How do you think Bryce Young would look in Chicago right now with that offense? Not the way Justin Fields looks. And like I said, like your floor. I know what the floor looks like with a rookie quarterback. You really think you can? If you go backwards, they'll never let you live it down unless the guy's like special.
It'll just be the next recycle of the cycle.
You'll never be able to go back.
One that I lived through a bunch.
What?
That cycle of
new QBs.
Just new QB, new coach, new OC, new QB coach. Hi, I'm coach such and such.
Yes.
Like you start to forget names. Beau Allen is the interim OC for the Raiders, and I was like, I forget where and when I had him.
Well, that's the point.
And I'm sure you know the same feeling.
It's so many coaches coming through the building. You start over again. I mean, for everybody on the team, you talk about DJ Moore, Eddie Jackson, saying like when you have your wide receiver, your number one, being like he's the guy. You kind of like he's not just saying that for no reason. He's not saying he deserves a chance. He's saying he's the guy. So trust players. You know what I'm saying? Like I know there's some people that have been down on Justin Fields this year.
Look at the locker room videos in there, some of the Instagram lives from these guys, and you can attest to this, Nate. You've been a teammate who's excited to be with other teammates, and Fields is featured in these Instagram lives. They're all dancing. They're all, doing their thing. They have fun together. They play for Fields. They obviously get up for Eberflus.
Yeah.
But to your point, the big question is going to be the offensive coordinator.
One thing that was brought up last night was when it came to Jalen Hurts' development, because he wasn't always Jalen Hurts of last year. And you can see it this year. There was a year where they loaded up, they gave him the weapons, and he had that MVP run. I think that's in Justin Fields' body.
Yes.
Like if it's in Jalen Hurts' body, it's in Justin Fields' body. And I'm not picking Justin over Jalen, but what I am saying is Justin has more talent. Okay, take that how you will.
He's the most talented guy on the field at any given moment.
Fucking the guy changes, and so you take him out of these situations. And you put a Caleb Williams in there. What does Caleb Williams look like when the pocket collapses and they're backed up?
And he could look great, but I promise you, he's not going to look better than Justin Fields.
He's not getting out of those sacks that Justin Fields escaped from yesterday.
And another thing is this: I'm not sure how relevant this is, but the USC kid last week looked insane.
He set a record for USC.
So you tell me. There's too much unknown, and when you have a known commodity, when you have a known commodity. It's not like having a game manager known commodity. You have a guy with a high ceiling.
But go get Marvin Harrison Jr., right, Chris?
You got to get a wide receiver, right? And just
the
load
wide
up.
receiver.
But imagine you have
one of those drafts where it's the wide receiver.
Imagine you have that defense and then that offense. Like how many groups in the NFL next year would have a better group outside that you could say for sure?
So that's why the Bears are the number 2.
They could be America's team next year.
And Bears fans, look, this is great news. I just talked about the Georgia Bulldogs and Kirby Smart and their dynasty that they're building. The Bears have that ability. And I know Ryan Poles, and we know Ian Yates-Cunningham. Those are bright young minds in the game of football that you got to get to know because they're making the right decisions, and they will continue to.